Hello, welcome back. Let's take up that answer about Maria going to visit her friends along the highway and how much gas she uses and showing that in a fraction and what was the distance. And right here I get us started off here with some facts that we know already. We know that Maria got on the highway and the sign said 352 kilometers. Then she drove to Lance's house and the sign had shrunk down to 242 kilometers. And so we know that if we subtract those two numbers, that'll tell us how many kilometers she traveled from Maria's house to Lance's house, and that's 110 kilometers. We also know when she got back on the highway at sign 242 at Lance's house, she drove to Alicia's house, and the highway was signs had shrunk to 55 kilometers. So that means we should subtract those two numbers, 242 minus 55, and that'll give us she traveled 187 kilometers from Lance's house to Alicia's house. So those are going to be important later. So I'm just going to put a box around those right now. And that helps us figure out how much the distance was. The answer to question number one was, how far did Maria drive to Lance's house? She drove 110 kilometers. And they want to know how many kilometers did she travel total. So if we add these two up together, 110 plus 187, that gives us 297 kilometers, sorry, total. Now, take a look at our liters now. We know that her car gets 33 kilometers every 1 liter. So what we have to do here is we need to figure out how much gas did she use when she was driving 110 kilometers on the first stretch. So how much gas did she use? So we know that we can take 110 kilometers, and we know we can times that, divide it by, you want to take 110 divided by 33, and that'll tell us how many liters we used. So I'm going to take 110, that's how many kilometers we traveled, and I'm going to divide it by every 33 kilometers, and that will tell me how many liters we used. So I type that into the calculator, and that will give me the answer, 3.3 liters. And then we also want to know how much gas did she use. So that was to Lance's house. Circle that there. Then how much gas did she use to go from Lance to Alicia's house? Well, we know from earlier we found out she traveled 187 kilometers. So we'll repeat the math that we did for earlier to find Lance's house. So we take 187 kilometers. And we're going to divide that to find out by 33 kilometers. And that will tell us how many liters she used. And this time we'll get the answer 5.6 liters. And that was for Alicia's house. And for our total amount of liters, how many liters did she use total? We can add them up again. So take Lance's 3.3 liters plus the 5.6 liters. 3 plus 6, 9. 3 plus 5 is 8. And that gives us a total of 8.9 liters. So now we have our totals in liters, and we have our totals in kilometers. The last part, which a lot of people found difficult, was how to transform your liters into a fraction. And I'll quickly review that right now. You can do this by simply timesing it or multiplying your liters, your decimal, by tens, hundreds, or 1,000, and then putting that number over what you divided it by. So I'm going to write down over here, I'm going to take 3.3 and I'm going to times it by the clean number of 10. When you times it by 10, it'll give you a fraction that will get rid of the decimal. So when you take 3.3 times 10, that'll give us 33 over 10. And if we do the same thing now for Alicia's distance, you take the 5.6, let's times that by 10 as well. It gets rid of that decimal. It gives us 56 over 10. I got this 10 because I times by 10. If I did 100, I'd write 100 there. If I did 1,000, I'd write 1,000 there. But anytime you multiply by 10, 100, or 1,000, it clears out the decimal and gives you a nice fraction like this. We can also change these improper fractions into mixed fractions. This will give us 3 3/10, and this one here will give us 5 6/10. And if we want to transform our total 8.9 liters into a fraction, that'll give us 89 over 10 because I times it by 10. And then 89 over 10 will give us the mixed fraction. They used a total of 8 and 9/10 of a gas tank to travel the whole distance. This would be our total down here. So at the end of the day, here's our final information. The travel from Maria to Lance's house was 110 kilometers. The travel from Lance's house to Alicia's house was 187 kilometers. Maria traveled a total of 297 kilometers. How much gas did she use? Well, we know that she used 33 kilometers. She could travel 33 kilometers for every 1 liter. We know that here it gave her a total of 3.3 liters. We also know that here she used a total of 5.6 liters to get to Alicia's house. And then for the combined distance between the two places, she used up a total of 8.9 liters. And to turn it into a fraction, all you have to do is multiply your decimal by tens, hundreds, or thousands, and then put it over that denominator that you just chose. Here you have 33 over 10, 56 over 10, 89 over 10. And to turn it into a mixed fraction, we simply used our division facts to figure out how much it was in mixed fractions. I hope that helped make the question a little more sense. Thanks for everybody for paying attention and trying your best on it. Good luck on the test tomorrow.